the crew 2. Sniffer session, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna sniff about for some live rewards and see if we can upgrade some of these disciplines. What we are looking for, of course, is yellow sets with the summit coming up. I do have yellow sets, a bunch of them in Street Race. So what we're trying to gonna make is these sets of 7 of the same bonuses. Like for instance this here, this symbol on the third bonus, that is the loot digger. That multiplies the loot earned by 2 when you do events, when you do races. And let's say you would get like 2 parts or 3 parts, instead of 2 or 3 you're gonna get 4 or 6. It doubles the loot if you have 7 of these things on. Because you need 7 of these things to make the bonus active. If you only have 4 or 5 or 6 of these and you have some other stuff on there, a purple part or whatever, then the bonus is not active, that third bonus, and then there's also no point in doing it or using it. On this one I have a Sniffer. What is called exactly? Let's have a look. The live reward Sniffer. That thing, if you drive around in that thing, it looks for live reward boxes, and you will find way more than normal. It says multiply the live reward density by 2. I think it is actually by 4 or 5 or so. Because if you don't have sniffer parts on your active, then you find like, yeah, 1 every 10 minutes or whatever. If you have the sniffer parts on it, you will find very easily 4 or 5 boxes, sometimes very shortly in a row. This of course is the Nitro Chemist. This is pure for racing. Nitro Chemist, if you have that, like here now I have it in combination with Bulldozer and Shifty. Shifty, okay, that's for Slipstream. The Bulldozer, Collision Impact, there are better parts out there. Nitro Chemist in combination with Nitro Power and Nitro Refill or something, it's probably the best part. But yeah, that is for later. Those are the specific bonuses. And I will say it right here, right now. You gotta get some, let's say, a way to play around with the bonuses. Gotta get some help from the game itself once the summit is there, but you still need the yellow parts, so you first need to get the yellow parts. This is the score breaker. If you have this thing on, very important with the summit upcoming, it multiplied the points in skills by 2. Any skill test, whether it's a speed trap or an aerobatic or whatever, if you have 7 of these things on, you get double amount of points. Which of course, if you have a competition going in skill tests, twice as much points with these 7 things on it, obviously that is something you want. The Nitro Chemist for racing and the Score Breaker for skill tests and so on, definitely something, those 2 sets you definitely want. The loot, yeah, that is if you want a lot of parts, then you can use that. The Sniffer if you want to find the boxes, and then you have a Fame Magnet that is to level up faster, gives you like double the amount of followers to level up the icon level, but yeah, that is like obviously the least important one. Now, how do you do this sniffing part? Is, yeah, you have to go long distance, let's put it that way. Now, also on this Porsche Cayman GT4, which is a new car since last week, if you're a season pass holder, if you're not a season pass holder, you have to wait till Wednesday to be able to buy this thing. But also there I switched the sniffer parts from my GT3 RS to the Cayman GT4, and so this is my sniffer vehicle. I have 3 sets of each sniffer, Nitro Chemist and so on in Street Race. So Street Race is more than covered. Now, you can drive around in this car and that's all fine, but I have it as my favorite, so that's the first thing that I've done. Put that thing on my favorite ground vehicle. The boat, I'm not sure what I have there. Let's have a look. You can instantly switch, of course, with these boats. The power boat, the Demon, which is supposed to be the fastest here, so there I have a full Nitro set Chemist, as you can see as well. But on the other boats, for instance, I'm still missing a few. I have a loot missing here to complete the set and make it active. Over here we are also missing a score. Here we are missing 1 magnet to complete the set. And here we are still missing a couple of sniffers. Although that's not that important. I have Sniffer car and I also have a Sniffer plane. That makes it a little bit differently. So we're gonna do some Sniffer session because yeah, I definitely am not where I am supposed to be yet. That means that I'm looking for at least a set in each of these things. In each of the 16 disciplines, try to get a set. I'm well on my way in different disciplines. But I have, for instance, some serious issues in the off-road. Haven't played around that much in the off-road family. Here we go. Somewhere. Too late to switch to the boat. That's bad news. Now this one, although it seems to be on the water, it isn't really, as you can see. But it's sort of, yeah, on the edge here of this little island thing. Which means you can basically open it with any of the three different vehicles. Or vehicle sorts, let's put it that way. I can open it with a boat, but I could also open it with a car or with a plane from the sand point here. As you can see, I can instantly switch to the car. I also could open it with the car or a plane from here. Let's see if we want something here. We obviously, yeah, purple path, I'm not worried about them, I'm just gonna scrub them. Although, also that's not advisable, but that is something I cannot talk too much about it. We got a loot on 4, which I think is good news. We also got a loot on 5, and a loot on 6. So it's all about loot. I think that the vector is loot, yeah. Nah, we needed the loot on 3. Nevertheless, we're gonna have a look, and we have extra pump and pure, and let's see what this thing is. Gold finder and popular. Not that interesting, so it can go. Over here we have bulldozer and drifty on it, and this is extra pump and rich. Then extra pump is not that bad. Rich is just to get more bucks from events. But I have the drifty here, and these sort of refills the nitro when you're drifting, and with a boat, surprisingly, you are drifting on the water in a way. So that's actually a better part. I will keep it on. Over here we have popular and skilled. Skilled is something you need in combination with the score breaker, but not on any other parts, because yeah, it's basically only for skill tests. So then this one with the pure plus 6%. If I put this one on, that gives us nitro power. That's definitely one we're gonna get on, and that one can go. Skilled is not a bad part, but then you want to have it like on this thing here. Like here I have one, for instance. We have the score breaker on it, and we have skilled. So that's like it multiplies the points for the skill test, and I also get 8% more. But 10% is, I think, the maximum. So there are better skill points than this one. But that is something, yeah, we have to deal later with. And then, yeah, maybe something else here than rich. Rich just gives you more bucks, but not that interesting that way. By the way, where are we flying? Is I set the waypoint all the way on the northeast, the Niagara Falls sort of. That's where we are flying. Switching back to the Sniffer plane. So this is a plane on which I have 7 Sniffer bonuses on it. And that's why I also made Porsche Cayman favorite. If I pick up a signal, I can go down here and I can switch to that Porsche, and that's also a Sniffer car, so that also picks up the signal in case it's still pretty far away. Playing around with the rudder a bit. I know we have to go all the way there. In the distance you already see the checkpoint, but As you can see, you sort of have to go left, right occasionally to pick up some signals. That's too far, so it is here somewhere. It's also too far, so there it is. Simply drop to the car. Just point us here and switch to a boat. That's all possible. You can open the thing with them. And we even get the parts towards us. Sometimes they drop them, then you need to switch to a car to pick them up. But that's that. Now, let's see what we can find. This is completely useless. Blue parts, even the purple parts are completely useless with the upcoming summit and everything that will come with it. The only thing that matters is the yellow parts, and we had 3, so it's these last 3 here. So we have a score on 5, a score on 6, and a score on 7. So we basically need this car. Completely missed it again. We have skilled on it, so yeah, this one can go no matter what. Also on this one, we have skilled. And this is lucky and sensor, that's completely useless with a score breaker combination. Drifty and skilled on this one as well, and that can go as well. So although yeah, we have 7 parts and 3 of them were yellow, they are not that good. With a score breaker you want skilled on it with it to go with it. Quickly switch to the car again. And then to the plane. To fly out of here. What I forgot to do was actually make my Sniffer plane favorite. That will work better. The other plane also works obviously, but that did not have Sniffer parts on it, which is a problem. That's how fast it can go. We just took up from the previous box, and there's already another one here, but this is a bit of a less box. I saw 1 yellow part pop up. That's not that great, unless it's the good one, because yeah, magnet on 3 we have, because I think that these part things, I don't think they are that super randomly. More than likely it's generated. We have collector and frenetic on here, and this is for connector and bulldozer with plus 4%. So this is actually a better part. If we look into it, the collector here is live reward frequency apparition by 3%, and over here we have 7%. So it's not that super yet, because yeah, that collector thing is something you want on your Sniffer part, for instance, in combination with a sensor. That would be great. Always need to find a way out of here with a plane. Out of the woods, not that. If we're lucky, also under that bridge is a loot box, because yeah, that's how we do. If you do this often, you sort of start to get to know the locations, because they are not randomly either. Under this bridge, for instance, is sometimes a loot box. This time it doesn't trigger, but it is there for sure. before I started the stream, I already opened 2 or 3 boxes, I think. So coming from Miami towards New York, we have already opened 5 or 6, if not 7. And now we're flying towards the Niagara Falls. Also there you can find different boxes. Continue with the boat for now. That's completely useless. Because that was like a couple of blue and purple ones. Of course, if you don't have maximum upgraded vehicles yet, I have every single vehicle, I have maximum parts all over the place. But if that's not the case, then you just want to put it on, obviously. Even if it's only blue or purple, but, or even the green part for that matter. Other ways to get the parts, of course, is to do PvP races. But yeah, there it depends a bit on your finishing position. So that's a bit more, you want to get some 6 parts, for instance, like we are getting from some of these loot boxes, then you probably have to win the race. You're gonna get 4 or 5 parts if you finish second, and depending on your position, you're gonna get 1 part less every time. So. But it is a bit of grinding, especially in the beginning. It's a bit of grinding to get like that first sniffer parts. Too far away. Have to switch to a car to pick it up. But although I picked them up with the car, they will be for the boat. You get the parts for the vehicle you open the thing with. So, but there's a lot of scrapping, which is not that good of an idea. But yeah. You're gonna need those. We got a sniffer on 7, which is good because we don't have a part there yet. There we go. Which means we also have a sniffer boat. I don't know if that's really that necessary. Let me elaborate on that. Is that yeah, there are not that super many boxes on the water. Very often they are like just on the river banks or something. So which means you can also open them. You can open them from the river with the boat, but you can, or with the jet sprint. But you can also open them with a car from the land, sort of. picking up a signal. But seems to be a better one. At least 2 yellows in there. Okay, let's have a look. This is not that convenient. Okay. We got a sniffer on 4. We got a nitro here, but we already have a nitro. Pure and sensor, and this is frenetic. And sensor not even that great, so. And this is a purple one. So sniffer on 4, which we already had. But then it's a matter of like drifty and popular. And this is 14% more lucky, which increases the quality of the part. The quality of the part, that basically means that if you have lucky, because some people are still mistaking that. People think that if you have lucky, you're gonna get a better chance at getting a blue part instead of a green part, or a purple part instead of a blue part. That's not how it works. You're always gonna get that same part. If you open a box or so, you're gonna get that same part. But instead of giving, like, let's say, 5% nitro, if you have a bunch of lucky on it, then you're gonna get 8% or 10%. That's how. That's what the lucky actually does. But there are still a bunch of people who think that that it actually increases your chance of getting a better color part or something. But I don't think there is a loot box here. So more, very often it's in the woods, more on the river banks. But as you can see, it goes pretty quickly. There will be some areas where you're gonna have to do like longer grinds to actually get a bunch of boxes, but what's this? Popular and reach. That's not really something you need for racing. Nor does the sensor, but yeah, the bumper is not that bad. That's an avoid tolerance, so that's the better part. Not super great, but and only 1 yellow this time. That's also a very good idea. Switch to a plane just on the. Okay, we got away with it. So you sort of want to fly, yeah. I'm using a plane because it just goes faster than the cars. And you sort of want to fly a bit of zigzag so that you're facing in the direction. Of course, what I also have is I have everything on 25 points here on the icon points. So the perks order, which also means that I have a sensor which increases the radar range to detect these live boxes. So I'm getting 15% wider range. So if you have like, if you find boxes on 100 meters or so, yeah, I will get them way further. Well, not way further, 15% further. And the collector is also increasing the frequency apparition for 7.5%. So which means that yeah, it's more or less 1 out of 12 times I will get a box more than if you do not have those things. That's for the perks, but then of course you can also have all the different things on the part itself. I will quickly have a look what we have here on this plane. Sniffer, obviously, but over here it's box and perfectionist, so that's not that great. Do I have anything which increases? Here we have a collector, so that really helps a little bit to find more boxes. Other than that, there's not really anything on that Sniffer set here that is really helping us a lot. But yeah, it took me quite a while to find that last Sniffer part for the plane, so I have been driving around a lot with Sniffer cars, but that just takes longer than when you're actually in the air. But it's sort of the lines that I always go. It's like most people have a house in Miami. Season pass holders also have a house in Los Angeles, but seeing I'm sort of doing this video, yeah, like for new players, how do you find these boxes and so on. I started in Miami, and then you fly northeast to New York to find this. Oh. This is so annoying. Like, look at this. I'm surrounded by loot, but I cannot open it, and of course I cannot drive a boat. So I have to drive a car to pick them up. Let's see. This is the purple one. Not even that bad part, but we got a magnet on 2. But I think we only need magnet on the last one though. But so you can check if it's